first half of the main topic tonight. We're going to be talking about, is it pronounced HexiCon, Tommy, right?
HexiCon is what I call it.
HexiCon.
Yeah.
Okay, so the I is kind of silent there. So
yeah, because HexiCon was already taken by another convention, so I changed it to an I to get around that. So
yeah, I think I found I saw your post. I think it was a couple of weeks ago, and you know, saw it on Heroscapers, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I'm like, wow, it's happening like really soon. So I wanted to contact you to help get the word out for this. So go ahead. First, like, tell the audience a little bit about this. How you came up with the idea for this, and what are your plans for this?
Well, referring back to what you're saying about happening in April, which is April 19th through the 23rd is when it's going to happen here. Is either happening then or in October, and because of my farm-related stuff anyway. I didn't have much time to figure out which time was going to happen. But HexiCon is going to be a convention-style Heroscape event, multi-day event, similar to ScapeCon's structural and stuff, but on a smaller scale and such. It's going to happen in Louisville, Kentucky, about 20 minutes from the airport, actually, so shouldn't be too hard to get over there. And basically, we're gonna have a more focus on some of the VC units, like the SOV, C3V units, and the event more so than ScapeCon does. Like about half of the events have the customs in them, compared to like what, a quarter or so or a third that ScapeCon has done and such. Have the maps done, have the event structure already up on the Heroscapers website. I imagine you have the link ready for that.
Yeah, I already have links in the description below for both like the announcement as well as just the events page. So I already got those links for people to check out.
Like 90% of stuff's already on there for you to all to look at for like what kind of events we're gonna have and stuff. I'm just literally just waiting for the prizes to get made so I can start sharing those. Is what I'm waiting on, kind of thing. And it's $100 for all 4 days to play, and then $25 you have to pay me to help cover the prizes. So $100 goes to the store basically to help pay for renting out the entire area, play space basically, and then $25 for me for prizes and such.
So this is going to be at a store, not like a hotel.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so we're going to be taking up like 90% of the play space. And right adjacent to that is all the games and stuff and toys they have for sale, because they have a lot of good selection of stuff. The store themselves' name is Miso's, and the link for the website. Sorry, the link for the event that you provide has a link to like the store and stuff, so you can be able to find it, figure out how to get to the store from the airport and such. As well.
Right. Oh yeah, all the information is in this link for sure.
Mm-hmm.
In the links. Now, with like I was asking, so what caused you to come up with this decision? Is this something you were thinking about last year, or is this something you just came up with like, oh, I'm just gonna do this right away?
I've kind of been mulling it for a year or so, but I didn't really have enough stuff. With the announcement of Age of Annihilation and such, I ended up trying to re-up my collection, especially with the VC stuff, Valhalla custom stuff. I was like, well, it kind of fell through now with Age of Annihilation, so I'm going to try to use the money that I had saved up to get that, and bring myself back up to speed. Because I had a few years of a lull of not playing as much. I didn't focus as much on the game and came back. Bringing the import due to ScapeCon. So thanks, Mike, for helping with me with that. And I ended up buying a lot of collections off of eBay. Like, oh, hey, they have like half of the miniatures I need in this lot. Has a lot of terrain. So I'll go ahead and just buy the whole thing. And maybe I'll resell it. And I got to the point, it's like, wait a minute, I have enough stuff now. I could just run my own event. So why not let's do that? And that's what prompted me to finally start making the steps towards running my own event.
That's pretty cool that you're taking the initiative for that.
Yeah, I'm happy, dude. I've run online events for Star Wars X-Wing for years now. I've also run in-person events. I do that a lot locally already in Louisville. I guess local's an hour and a half for me, but I have experience running events and stuff, but I have not run a multi-day event like this yet. But I have enough of a framework for running such kind of events that I feel like I should be able to pull this off.
So
I'm hoping I can get a lot of people to show up
for sure
and want to play in this event.
Are you running this planning this on your own?
Yes, it's a one-man operation here.
Gotcha.
I'm getting some input from other people and stuff, and like Mike and all the other guys who do the ScapeCon stuff, but I'm also used to running online events by myself. Whenever there used to be teams for those too, so it's like I'm kind of used to doing one-man shows for these events anyway. So
that's impressive.
Now, and
yeah.
I didn't see I didn't look too closely yet because I think you're making updates on Heroscapers. But what type of events you were mentioning? More C3V related events. For
yes, every similar to what ScapeCon does. Every time block, those two events happening at the same time, and one's going to be a regular event with just official Scape, another one's going to be PC allowed units. And there's going to be a total, there's going to be an afternoon and evening event, Thursday and Friday. And so, you have 8 events, and half of those are going to be VC, half regular. And you have the main event on Saturday, which is going to take the entire day, basically. You have the main 5 rounds and the top cut all on the same day. Just because of how the structure for the store is, we only have so much time we can be in the store. But the main event's going to be a VC Delta format. And then for those who make the top cut, they will play, and then the side event during the top cut is going to be a regular non-custom event. And then you have a little event on Sunday just to wrap up so we can start tearing down maps and stuff. And that's also going to be VC, kind of thing. So I want to run an event where we can see more of the custom units used. Maybe try to get more people interested in who have not used them yet, maybe. Or maybe they haven't gone to enough events with seeing them in action, kind of thing.
For sure.
So.
No, that's fantastic. I'm really happy to hear that, because I definitely feel that the customs, the Valhalla customs, need to be on the forefront now. I mean, that to me is the future of this game. Being able to get more people excited for the new characters coming out. You know, even though they don't say they're official or anything like that, but they're official to me, and I hope they're official to many other people. So that's awesome. I'm so glad.
Yeah, and Craig Van Ness has approved of the process. I don't know if you guys seen his post he did years ago. He approved of the whole process they're doing, which I thought was a nice touch on his end.
Of course, yeah. No, that's fantastic.
And I'm very happy that ScapeCon even has more events than what Gen Con used to. Gen Con had one event. And hint, for a few years I was only one running that one event too.
Okay.
But they even started accepting it at Gen Con more, and the ScapeCon has it even more. I'm hoping to make it to where hey, we actually have main events now with BC. And also the Delta formats to help adjust points. For example, Agent Car's a little bit better in Delta format points. And so I have some Delta format points as well to try to encourage different things. So get more recognition of different events by having some large event use them. So.
And Delta is fairly new, isn't it? That came in that started coming to become more popular within the past couple of years, correct?
Actually, it was around a decade ago, and then it just kind of went quiet. And then it got a resurgence just the last few years ago. The point system, just kind of sat around for a bit, no one touched it, and then we started looking into it again. It's a similar thing that happens with the War Grounds Escape. It started like over a decade ago, and then went dormant, and then got revitalized. Literally, I believe ScapeCons helped revitalize a lot of these side formats, like Delta and Wargrounds Escape and other things have come back to the forefront because ScapeCon's maybe looking to use it or something, or maybe people hoping that they can help get ScapeCon to use it. Or I just repeat myself. Anyway, it's just because there's big events that are happening, people start to pay attention again, whether even they're going to go or not. It just brings attention to it.
Sure.
Arable is asking in the chat, what exactly is Delta format? Would you mind explaining that for a second?
Oh, yes. Delta format is just a reevaluation of points. The points are changed to be able to reflect the characters in overall states. For example, Agent Carl that we talked about earlier, his base cost on his card is 100 points. In Delta format, his cost has been reevaluated to 80 points because they recognize that, hey, he's not as good as his points say he is right now with all these units out. And so in an attempt to make everything an equal playing field, so everything's a viable option to take, points get adjusted. And so something like Nilfheim, for example, he's 185 points. I think he's like 230 now. He is very good still, but now you have to be more careful about... You have to consider more things about your list if you're going to take him or not. And so, because there's a power ranking system for tournaments and stuff for Heroscape. A through F point total... power rankings and stuff, and the goal of Delta is try to get everything to try to fall into the same power rankings brackets. So, and what's nice about Delta is that it can fit with any format on top of that. If you're playing like Reverse the Whip or Heat of Battle, all these other different formats, you can always slap the Delta format on it to adjust the points to where everything looks like a good option to take, instead of having to say, oh, here's these 5 or 6 characters that I feel like I have to take in regular points. So.
And Arabel's asking, just point adjustments, or are there ability changes as well?
There's just point changes.
Just point.
There's another group that used to be active that would actually change abilities and stuff. They were known as the Competitive Unit Congress. But they never really took off.
Yeah, that seems to be, I would assume, would be way too much work. Like there's a lot more balancing that has to go on, especially when you're changing stats or abilities.
I like the concept they had, but it's just harder to accept that kind of stuff. When you have to print
I mean, you could always print, like, that's not a bad idea in the sense that, yeah, you can just make a new card for Agent Carr, give him 80, like, for example, you can clean up, let's say, take the first master set and maybe clean up some of the abilities. For example, with Agent Carr, you can take Ghost Walk and Disengage and just give him Phantom Walk. Would that actually change the points or not? I don't know. I'm not an expert. But you could essentially just do stuff like that to certain characters and go, okay. Well, even with Taylord. Taylord is technically has stealth flying based on his original card. Would that change his point value? Probably not, but still, you can do stuff like that, where you can just change the card to say stealth flying instead of flying with extra text.
And if you are wanting to look for the Delta points format, there is a thread for that. But also, if you go to Heroscape.org, a great thing that Chris Porkins has made, among the various things that website can do, there's a squad builder. And there's a toggle switch for the Delta format. So you can see all points adjustments for all the characters. The newest stuff that comes out, they don't touch it immediately with Delta. They gotta wait and see what it looks like first. But I believe they plan to do a points update every few months. They give it time to settle and see what stuff looks like and see what needs to be changed, if anything. Like, I think November or October was the last points change, and they even didn't change that much. So...
I mean, I would assume, too, even when it comes to the Valhalla customs, I can't imagine things changing too much, because mostly it's supposedly to, correct me if I'm wrong, Tommy, but it's hoping to help balance stuff that was either very underpowered or way overpowered in the earlier sets and expansions, opposed to with now with having the Valhalla customs, things should be pretty balanced for what it is. We've learned so much about how things should be in Heroscape, and so we kind of have a better understanding of the point values to the to what these units should have.
Yeah, there actually is two different Delta formats, whether you include customs or include Valhalla customs or include the regular stuff, because like you said, some stuff has been synergized with some of the Valhalla customs have been synergized with the official Heroscape. Mm-hmm. So they're all two different point systems. I'm trying to remember a good example is like the Deathwalkers, for example. Mm-hmm. In Valhalla customs, they have a unit that bonds with them, whereas in, of course, official Scape does not have any. So the point totals for the Deathwalkers are a little bit different, just because of the Zedian infantry bond or not, basically.
Yeah.
And some stuff they did unfortunately have gotten a little bit wrong on pricing for stuff for Valhalla customs. But I was also, when they first started, there was a little bit shows trying to figure their system out and stuff. That was over a decade ago when they started. So so there is still adjustments, but it is smaller on the Valhalla side, Valhalla custom side. So I would recommend that you go and check out Heroscape.org.
Oh yes, absolutely.
The squad builder.
Yeah, that was a brilliant website that Chris Perkins created, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And even if you play casually, I would recommend you check out, at the very least, check out the Delta system and see if maybe you can get more stuff on the table. Because I think that would help. Maybe even figures that you don't even play casually that you don't see the table that often. That should help you get them out there. So
for sure. Well, Tommy, I think it's a great thing what you're doing, because I mean, now that ScapeCon is kind of here and it looks like it's going to be a regular thing, a yearly thing. Not everybody can go.
Yes.
There's a waiting list. So one of the things I think I was talking about with Joe and Ben and Jeremy when we were at ScapeCon last year was the fact that is there probably going to be copies of ScapeCon sprouting up over the place now that people are seeing how it's done, and why not do more of it? And so I think HexiCon is probably going to be one of those results that will probably end up growing like ScapeCon as well. So
I would hope so.
Thank you for leading the charge for that, for sure. I think you're going to have Sir Heroscape be joining these events, so that's going to be kind of cool that you're going to have him there join you. And I encourage anybody listening, if you're just like, darn it, either like ScapeCon is like, you can't do it, or you can't make it, or you weren't on the waiting list, this is definitely a great alternative to get some tournament play while waiting to get on ScapeCon's list for next time.
I don't have quite all this the stuff that they do. Like they're in the hotel, so they get like food and culture the entire time. We won't have that, unfortunately. We got some fast food restaurants nearby and stuff, but also their event is $400 for the entire thing because we have to pay for the food we're eating. Mine's is a total of $125. You have to drive in from whatever hotel you're staying in. So those plus and minus. You got to be in a game store, so you can go and buy some games. I'm hoping we can get some store credit from this store. He has to figure out logistics on his end if that's going to be possible or not. I'm hoping so. I think it actually, honestly, probably depends on how many people we get, if he can justify store credit kind of stuff. If we max out, maybe we can talk to him about that stuff. But there's plus and minuses to going to ScapeCon and HexiCon, depending on location and stuff. But since ScapeCon is maxed out of space right now, maybe you guys can, whoever's listening, if you can't make it, couldn't get on, you're on the wait list or something, come on over to my event. Or maybe you want to practice for ScapeCon too. You plan on going to both. I'd love to have people for both.
Absolutely. So those of you out there, check out Tommy's post. Check out all that information. Again, links are in the description below for this podcast live stream. And if you're watching this via audio, on because we finally have a home, and I'll talk about that in a little bit later. We finally have a new home for the ToV Podcast audio version out there.
Nice.
Go to our YouTube page. Go to the Tales of Hal YouTube page, and to there'll be a link in the description below to see the YouTube video where this live stream is based on, and links will be in the description below. Or just check out Heroscapers.com. Go to events and find it. It's HexiCon. Check it out. Find it there. Tommy, thank you so much again for coming on the panel, for discussing with us tonight about this. And yeah, I hope this is successful. It needs to be successful. I think one of the last things that Avalon Hill told us before there was radio silence is that they said, play the game. And you're darn right we're coming out and we're gonna be playing that game for sure.